Hi everyone. Today I'm reflecting on the video about emotional intelligence and Daniel Goleman's idea that it's one of the most important abilities for leaders. Out of our out of the four domains of emotional intelligence, the one that stood out to me the most was self-management. I think self-management is critical in leadership because it's one thing to understand your emotions, but it's another thing to control how you respond to them, especially in high pressure situations. In a work environment, emotions can escalate quickly. If leader reacts impulsively, that reaction can spread tension throughout the entire team. I believe emotional intelligence is learnable. I don't think it's something that you either have or don't have. I think it's developed through experience, reflection, and feedback. For example, the more we face stressful team situations, the more opportunities we have to practice staying calm, listening carefully, and responding thoughtfully instead of emotionally. It takes intentional effort, but it can absolutely improve over time. The story about Govan Brown, the bus driver, really stood out to me because it showed me how emotional intelligence plays out in everyday life. He wasn't in a corporate leadership position, but his ability to manage his emotions and create a positive environment made a big impact. The example reminded me that leadership is not always about authority, it's about influence. The way you show up emotionally affects everybody around you. Thinking about a time I struggled with emotional intelligence, I can think at work where there was conflict within the team. There was miscommunication about responsibilities, and I felt frustrated because I believe I was carrying more of the workload. Instead of calmly addressing the issue right away, I let that frustration build up. When it finally came out, my tone was more defensive than I intended and more aggravated. Even though my concern was valid, the way I communicated it, the conversation was tense. The other person became defensive too. Instead of solving the problem, it became into a bigger conflict than it needed to be. Looking back, what I should have done differently is pause before responding and approach the conversation with curiosity instead of frustration. I could have asked clarifying questions like, can we review who is handling what, instead of assuming the imbalance was intentional. This would have kept the conversation collaborative instead of confrontational. That experience showed me how important emotional regulation and active listening are in a team setting. To improve my emotional intelligence, I plan to start practicing a small habit, pausing before responding during moments of tension. Even taking 5 seconds to breathe and think about my tone can change the direction of a conversation. I also want to focus more on intentionally on listening, letting the other person fully explain their perspective before jumping in with my own. To hold myself accountable, I plan on to reflect briefly after difficult conversations. So I ask myself questions like, did I stay calm? Did I listen fully? Did my tone match my interior? I also think asking for feedback from trusted teammates can help me grow because sometimes others see things we didn't notice but ourselves. Overall, this video reinforced that emotional intelligence is not about avoiding conflict, it's about handling conflict in a way that builds trust instead of damaging it. Strong leaders don't eliminate the tension, they manage it in a healthy way, and I believe developing emotional intelligence will not only make me a better teammate, but a better leader in the long run. Thank you.